Hey guys, welcome back to FM8tutorials.com. This is part 2 of the trap feature we've been doing this month with FM8, making various sounds using FM8, so synthesizing our own drum hits, which we did in the previous tutorial, part 1 of this series. We synthesized that beat using FM8, and in this tutorial is going to move on to show you how to make the sub bass that we've got there and the arpeggiator. And then in part 3 we're going to do the synths that we had there, the lead synth and that rise, and then in part 4 we're going to do some production with the drums, processing the drums and EQing and processing all the synths basically, so taking it out of FM8 and into kind of like Logic and using processors and what have you, but nothing that's not specific to Logic. So if you were using Ableton or FL Studio or Cubase, then this would you'd still be able to use these techniques basically. So let's start with this sub bass here. It's got a bit of a kind of Reese element to it, so let's start here, create a new sound in FM8 and go to the master section for starters, make the sound monophonic, 2 voices, and take that detune off. And the only thing we really want to add here is a bit of this digital. Alright, so let's move to the operator section next, and it's going to be 2 sine waves what we're going to use for this sound, key synced, and take the ratio down to 0.25 on operator E and operator F and route them both to the output. Turn on operator E, and what we can do here to just beef the sound up a bit is route F into itself at 12 and route E into itself at around 10. And then route E into F as well at, I went a bit higher actually on those, 14 and 19. E into F at 21. And that's just bringing out a bit of gritty top end. You can hear that bit crusher a bit more now. Couldn't really hear the effect that that was having before. So another thing I wanted to do here was with these ratios, to give it that sort of Reese kind of effect, was to detune these a bit. So I'm going to go 0.2516 on operator E and 0.2438 on operator F. So and you're getting that offset of those two. The slight detuning means that you've got this kind of sort of like almost like a subtle LFO sort of thing going on. It's a kind of a bit of a sort of Reese effect. I might take some of these down a little bit again. About 10 on both of those, E and F, on the kind of routing, feeding back into themselves. So next up we can set up the pitch envelope to just give us that a transient kind of attack on the sound. So what we can do here is just control click to create another envelope pointer in here and just kind of go right up there. Push this envelope amount up to around 83. So we're getting that kind of transient on there. It's a little bit too much at the moment, I think. So just bring the decay of this down. That should be alright. I notice we're getting a bit of click in there, so let's just look at these amp envelopes quickly. So link operators E and F envelopes together and just take that release out. So not getting any more click on that sound. And that's it for the bass sound. So We can start processing this a little bit more in the final tutorial, but essentially for what we want for this track, it's going to work quite well to just provide some nice kind of sub harmonics, you know, around 60 Hertz. So okay, so next up, let's do the arpeggiator sound. Okay, so this is quite a simple ARP sound really. It's just about getting that riff, that kind of nice sort of riff in there. So let's start by creating a new sound and make it monophonic. Increase the voices to 4. Take the detune up to about halfway and pan some of the voices out. So take the pan amount up to just past halfway. And take this analog slider up to about 57 and a bit digital as well, 24 on the 23 on the digital. Next, let's move over to the operator section, and we're just going to use one operator for this sound, and we're going to use a sine wave, so we can pretty much leave everything here as it is. And just for this sine wave, what we want to do is just take the release out. So we're just getting no click on the tail there. So next up, let's set up the arpeggiator. So start by turning it on and key sync it. Take the pattern to loop over 16 steps and keep it 1/16 basically. So let's take that accent off there, and basically want something like this. We want to be turning every other step off, and then apart from 12, turn that on. So basically we want to leave steps 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 12 and 15 on, and then in the pattern here in the octaves, go +2 octaves for the very first note, and then -1 for the second note. So keep step 5 as it is. Step 7, go +1 octave. Step 9, just go +1 on the transpose, so just up 1 semitone. And then step 12 can stay the same, and 15 go +1 transpose, up 1 semitone, and also up 2 octaves. So that's the sound pretty much done there, and the next thing we need to do is just add some reverb. So turn this reverb on, keep the time at 50, bright at 50, push the treble up to a bit more, maybe about 60, and the dry wet, just pull this down to around 31, 30. And that's the sound there. Super simple sound, but just quite effective kind of arpeggiator riff for this sort of tune really. So I think one thing I didn't actually do with the arpeggiator was to take this note length up. That sounds a bit better. I thought it sounded a bit strange with, obviously can control the note length there, but push that note length up to 100. So Okay, so I hope you enjoyed that tutorial. Be sure to check out part 3. We're going to be making this rise synth in FM8 and also this lead sound. Okay, so yeah, I hope you enjoyed that tutorial. Any questions, then please get in touch, give us a shout, and hope to see you again soon. Cheers, bye.